In the next few lessons, we're going to talk about some situations in life that might affect how we resource ourselves or how we prioritize our resources. Grief is one of those situations. We all process grief differently, and every loss is unique to each one of us. One thing that is common to all of us is that grief causes our body to go into survival mode. So fight, flight, or freeze. We talked about that when we were talking about the nervous system, and also shutdown mode. It's why some people will say they didn't realize that grief felt like fear. There could be some heavy fear there because there's this unknown and this loss, and you have to learn this new normal of living. Or there could be a shutdown of not wanting to accept it, like, going into shutdown, your body just not wanting to go on and live without whatever the loss was. So this will affect us in our bodies, and that's why it's more important than ever that we need resources. But grief might affect you in various ways. It might include a loss of energy, a loss of focus, brain fog, a heaviness, just feeling a heaviness, sleep issues like you sleep too much or you don't sleep enough, a desire to isolate from people. You don't really have the desire to connect and are not motivated to really be out in social situations. Anxiety, depression, even panic attacks, because the body can get really scared about, next steps and what is going to happen in the future. So, like I said, resourcing in these situations of grief, in these seasons of grief, and grief is a season. It's not going to be over instantly. Depending on the loss, it takes time, and your body needs that time and that space, and it needs to know that that's okay. And so I just want to stop right here and tell you that it is okay to be in a season of grief. Not only is it okay, but it's healthy. If you have had loss in your life, a big loss, a small loss, whatever the loss, that just is the proof of love, the proof that you love someone or you love something and now you do not have it anymore. This could be anything from a death in the family to a divorce to the loss of a friendship to even the loss of like a family heirloom or some kind of item that meant a lot to you, a loss of a home in a fire. There's just a lot of situations in life that can produce grief. Resourcing is so important, but it's also more difficult in grief because of the loss of energy and the ways that this grief affects your body and throws you into survival mode. So when you're resourcing, if you're in a season of grief, you want to start small and you want to prioritize the resources that help the most. So you want to start looking through these resources in this course and finding the ones that actually bring relief, bring a sense of peace or a sense of hope or a sense of joy. Those resources are the ones that you want to begin with, and then you want to start small, start in small increments. Don't expect yourself to just do what you could normally do. If you are in a season of grief, your capacity diminishes greatly. And so sometimes it's all that you can do to get through your day and to do the things that you're required to do and fulfill your responsibilities. That is a completely normal thing. For how long? It depends on the person. It depends on the loss. But it's perfectly normal and it's perfectly okay for you to take the time and the space to work through and process through your grief in a healthy way. It is not healthy to hold back your grief. It is not healthy to keep it inside. It is not healthy to just move on with life and pretend that there is no loss, or to act like you didn't care, or convince yourself that you didn't care as much as you did. That grief needs to process through your body, through your mind, through your spirit, and in order for you to move on in a healthy way. So start small. Prioritize the things that help the most. Give yourself grace in life, just in life in general, and ask others for grace as well. There is no shame in saying, I'm a season of loss or grief, explaining as much as you're comfortable with, and letting that person sit in it with you, empathize with you, and walk through it with you. That's a good way to connect when you're grieving, is to connect around the grief, because that gives you another ally to help you in your journey forward. Also, remember, and you'll see this as you get into the course, crying is a resource. Crying is actually a great resource to cleanse your body and release survival energy and get past the fight, or fleas. Please don't get fleas. To get past the fight, flight, or freeze, and to get through the shutdown. That crying will release endorphins into your body and will help you to walk through, grief in whatever step you are on. Do not hold back from crying and processing through. Do not hold it in. That actually is worse and will make it take longer to get through it. Find a person or a group of people, whatever it is. If you need to find like a grief support group, those are really good to find people who might be able to empathize and understand where you're at and what you're going through. But also, even if you just have one person in your life that will hold space for you, that will understand, that will be patient with you and listen and, interact, encourage. I know recently I have a friend that lost someone very near and dear in her life, and I have just every day been texting her, like, maybe even she reads it and she's like, this doesn't really help me or apply to me, but she knows that I'm there, like I'm holding space for her, that I'm praying for her, that I am aware, and I'm recognizing that she's walking through this hard time and this hard loss. You cannot underestimate the power of being a presence in somebody's life or having a presence in your own life. So if you are in a season of grief, these resources are crucial to you processing and walking through that. You may use this course in a different way than you would if you weren't in a season of great grief.